Good morning. This is Deborah Matthews, Vicar of St Michael's Verwood and All Saints Three-Legged Cross. Last Sunday I was at sea on a cruise ship. When at sea on a Sunday, the ship holds an interdenominational church service. And we've been sailing on these ships for many years, and our family have always attended the services. We particularly enjoy singing For Those in Peril on the Sea, which is one of our family favourites. The service contains some liturgy and prayers, hymns and a Bible reading. Instead of a sermon, there's an inspirational message, which is read by the captain. And it was often one we'd heard a few times before, but nevertheless, it always made us chuckle to hear it again. The service last Sunday seemed to be more about providing a feel-good factor to it, with rather less mention of God in it, although we did say the Lord's Prayer together. It was still a nice service. It still had that really good, feel-good factor. But instead of the Bible reading, we had a Rudyard Kipling poem, If, and the prayer, Desiderata. And actually, it made me think about how we can dilute the Christian faith to make it accessible and nice, so that people can feel welcome and comfortable with what they hear. In church, we also want people to feel welcome, but we must not neglect to proclaim the faith of Jesus Christ crucified and follow his example to live a sacrificial life. When we turn Christianity into just a nice message, which makes no demands upon us, we can sometimes become complacent about our faith. This week in church, in the Bible reading from St Matthew's Gospel, we hear about the story of Peter, who has just recognised Jesus' identity as the Messiah, and he was probably feeling rather pleased with himself. But Jesus told Peter that the Messiah would go to Jerusalem and suffer and die. And Peter's response to that was to try and persuade Jesus to save himself from danger. But Jesus knew that there would come a time when his disciples' dreams of success would be overcome by their fears and sorrow. And so Jesus chose this moment to begin to prepare them to face the harsh truth that being his followers would not bring them comfort or glory or security. This was no time for easy words or meaningful stories. Now was the time for plain speaking. Jesus would not be distracted from his mission by temptation to an easier path. Jesus was focused and prepared for what he would face. And so Jesus said to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me, for you are setting your mind not on divine things, but on human things." This must have been shocking for Peter, to be likened to Satan by his teacher and friend. It must have been hard for him to bear that, when really all he was trying to do was to save Jesus from harm. But Jesus' words that sound so harsh would in time give Peter the strength he would need on his own journey of faith in the name of Jesus. On this occasion, Jesus had to be tough, perhaps for himself as well as for Peter and the others. When we face a difficult challenge, kind words are not always what we need, but the strength from our faith can help us to cope. Following Jesus means that we are not always thinking about what's best for us in our lives, but how we can let our lives be a blessing for others. And that will mean that we are willing to take up our own cross to follow him. The cross has become the symbol of Christianity. The cross was the instrument of a cruel death, but it reminds us that we cannot opt for an easy faith that makes no demands upon us. It is not a light-hearted promise that we make when we follow Jesus. It leads us away from ourselves. Inspirational messages can help us along the way and make us feel good, but Jesus' words contain the power to equip us to face the realities of life. And if we are ready to follow him and to take up our cross, we must also be ready to face and resist the temptations within and the wiles of the world without, to conquer our fears and to stand up for the truth. Lord, help us to trust that in good times and through the challenges of life, that you are with us, leading us on in our journey with you. Have a good week. God bless you.